Hello, this is Slowatter coming at you live from Slowatter headquarters here in the studio today. So I want to give the 35,000 mile review of the 2023 Ducati Diavel V4. Now I bought this motorcycle brand new. I believe it had 5 miles on it, or maybe 3 miles, and so I put 100% of the miles on it. So I put all 35,000. So the reason I'm making this review, it's 1,000 miles before the valve job. The valve job is 36,000. So I want to say a few words about the bike, how it's to ride, reliability, maintainability, all that sort of thing. So as you see, Ducati's number one. Take that off, a little hot in here. Just got back from a ride. So this thing is awesome, 35,000 miles. So I ride this every day to work and back. It's 50 miles to work and 50 miles back. So everything I'm going to talk about is imperial US units. Miles per hour, gallons, dollars, all that sort of thing. So anyways, ride this every day. So it's about 5 miles of twisties because I live up in the Sierra foothills between Lake Tahoe, California and Sacramento, California. I worked down in the Sacramento, basically at McClellan, the old McClellan Air Force Base. That's where I live. So to get to the freeway, which is Interstate 80, there's about 5 miles of back road twisties you can rip through. And then you get to the freeway and there's about 40 miles of high-speed freeway. So when I get on the on-ramp out here, on the on-ramp, I'm already doing between 85 to 90 miles an hour. So that's just the merging speed, because on this side of the Sierras, it's the downhill. So people are, they're coming down the hill. Even the trucks, like the giant trucks, they're hauling, they're always going at least 80, the big 18 wheelers. So they're coming down the mountain. So it's 2 lanes, and it opens up right at my exit. It opens up to 3. So people are hauling the mail, if you know what I'm saying. They're going fast. It's not atypical to have people, you know, they're doing like, in cars doing 90, 100 on the freeway. But you got to be careful though. It's a bit of a speed trap. I did get a speeding ticket on this thing about 2 months ago. So I got that at 32,000 miles. I was going, let's just say faster than I should have, triple digits. And I pulled over right away, and the California Highway Patrol, they're cool dudes. So, I mean, he was cool, and I said, yeah, I got a little excited. So, you know, I just got a speeding ticket. So it's not worth ever running. I probably could have beat him, but I'm not going to do that. Just stop and take your medicine like a man. It's not worth crashing your bike or getting arrested or something. Anyway, so this bike is very reliable. I ride it every day. Rain or shine, I ride it. So when it's raining out, I do try to keep it, I don't go over 80 miles an hour. So these Pirelli Diablo 4 Rosso tires are good in the rain, but you got to be careful. You just want to make sure they have good tread on them. If they're bald, I wouldn't do it. But I mean, so far, haven't had any problems or issues. So the tires, I replace the front and back tire every 5,000 miles. Because what happens, the rear tire wears out first, of course. And it's in the center. So when that wears out, I just replace both of them. Because the front, you could probably go like 7,000. But then you got to take it back. I just do it at the dealership. I did it once myself at home. I mean, I have all the tools to change. I take the tires on and off, but I take it somewhere and have it mounted. Cycle World is where I take it. They have a brick and mortar store, so I think it's like $20. They mount and balance the tire, well, plus the tire. So the front and rear tire, it's always about like at the dealership, they charge, it's not bad. I think it's $50 no, it's 100. Is it 100? Yeah, no, it's 50 for the back and 50 per wheel to mount and balance it. So it's worth it. So it's not bad because it costs 20 if you do it yourself and 50, so you might as well just have them do it. And when they do it, they check everything. They check the chain and they do a visual check. I mean, that's one of the reasons I take my bike to the dealership because I do ride it very aggressively in high speeds. Like today I was coming home, you know, I'm not the whole way, but I do hit 120 miles an hour periodically. When it's clear, you know, on the freeway, there's bunches of cars. So when you get around, you can catch up to the next batch and then catch up. And just, it's fun to get that little bit of burst of speed. And there's no one else. Well, there's people on the freeway, but that part's clear. I'm not passing cars like really fast. I wait till there's like about a mile gap and then I close that gap pretty quickly, just for fun. So if you do that, it's pretty safe. I don't rip between cars. But anyway, so it's, you know, I take it to go to the grocery store. I have a backpack, just pack my stuff up. And that's fun because you can only hold so much. So you save money and plus it takes more trips. So you get to ride your bike more. So it's a double bonus. You know, you're saving money because you got a small backpack. And then also since it's small, you got to hey, maybe you got to go to the grocery store every day on your Ducati. Not a bad thing. So I take this, so I drive it literally every day, at least a minimum of 100 miles per day. The only reason I don't drive it, like if I go on a business trip and I'm gone for a week, or if it's like a snowing here, or if it's just really raining, downpour, I won't go. And the only bad thing about riding it in the rain is just cleaning it, because there's just a lot of nooks and crannies, and it takes a lot of time to clean. So for 35,000 miles, boy, this rips. And so the valve job's coming up on 1,000 miles at 36,000. I don't know what the pricing is on that. I think it's around $2,500. So when I get that done, I will let you guys know. And I did do a previous video where I went over all the maintenance I've ever done. So I've followed all of the maintenance from the factory owner's manual, and I had the dealership to do it. Yeah, you could do it yourself. I can do it. I've worked on my cars all my life by necessity. It's only now that I'm much older, I'm in my 60s, that I can afford to just have someone else do it because I'm busy. But I mean, I work on all my other cars. I do myself. My oil changes, my brake jobs, changing in alternators. I mean, I used to swap engine and trannies out, but I don't do that anymore. But all the basic stuff, you know, I can do myself. But for this, it's under warranty, and I do ride it hard and fast. So I want a professional, just for my safety, for slow riders' health and safety. I want the pros to look at it. So one amazing part is that I still got the original brake pads. And it stops like on a dime. You would not believe it. This thing it really stops. And I don't really even use the rear brakes. I just use the factory. I drive around using the sport mode, just the factory sport mode. So whatever that is set to, I haven't looked whatever level of engine braking. I don't like a lot of engine braking where you're just going like this, but just enough where it slows down a little bit. Because as you go on, at least for me, when I need to slow down fast, that's when I'm going over 100 miles an hour, and just with the air resistance, I can just put my legs and it slows down pretty good. You could you make yourself into a flying brick, and that's enough to slow down, and plus with the brakes. And this thing's nice. I've had to, there's been a few times I've been going 115, 120, and I had to slow down quickly and just literally kind of slam the brakes on, and man, this thing, it just does it. And like you'd be going 120 and you're doing like, all of a sudden you're doing 70. And it's nice. And it's just a light touch. You know, always, of course, let the throttle as you're throttling off. And the way, I don't know if you could see my hand, but the way I ride like this or like this. I always have my levers covered like that. And then I can always tap my brakes without putting my brakes and put my brake lights on just when I'm hard engine braking, so the cars behind you see you, because I'm always looking forward, and as I'm looking forward, I can see in the mirrors, so I don't even have to turn my head Like if I got to slow, like I'm looking in the mirror right now, so I can see here and I can see there and I can see there. So I'm, the sidebar mirrors are really nice. So you need the mirrors that go farther out. So if you're lane splitting, there's still enough room. And if it gets really tight, I could just go like that. I put them in a little bit so you get a few inches, but I lane split when the traffic's going below 30 miles an hour, and then this is fine because you can kind of go around the traffic. What else? So I mean, this thing really handles well. Cornering is easy. I mean, just on the way home, this part of the freeway is pretty curvy because it's in the mountains, and I'm ripping 90, 95 miles around the corners on the freeway. I mean, it's pretty cool. They have some of these really long sweeping corners where you're just leaned over for like an eighth of a mile. Some pretty long curves on the freeway doing 80 or 90. It's pretty fun. So once you get used to it, and then also I practice a lot staying in the left tire lane. So if you look at a lane for a car, you use the full lane, but in a motorcycle, basically you can ride in the left lane, the middle lane, or the right lane. So I practice either just riding all the way home 50 miles in the left tire lane or the right tire lane. And that really, over the last 10 or 15,000 miles, that's really improved my skill level. Before, when I go on the corners, I get sloppy, but now I can ride home on the freeway as just in staying in the left tire lane or the right tire lane. And what that does is that increases your safety factor, because now instead of one lane, you effectively kind of have 3 lanes and even 4 or 5, because you even get the lane splitting lane. So that opens you up. It's a lot of safety. So compared to a car, you always have 5 lanes to work with on a motorcycle, and a car you have 1 lane. So just keep that in mind. You can really. And there's been a few times I've been going, had to go up the side, and it's not even scary. It's just you have that option, so it's nice. And then with the mirrors too, you can see behind you, so you have the option to slow down if there's no cars tailgating, or you have the option of speeding up and then switching lanes. But anyways, as far as the valve job goes, I don't feel any. This thing runs as strong as ever, because I did. If you've been following my channel, I did install at 5,000 miles. The Ducati full titanium dragster exhaust, and I did the high flow intake filter, and then I also did the up map that up maps for this exhaust. So it's basically what it does. It gets rid of. I did all that work myself, actually. So I did that myself because the dealership won't do this where I live. They won't do it. So I dropped the catalytic converter, disconnected the butterfly valve, installed this thing. That was about a day's worth of work. It wasn't too bad. The hardest part about it is that big catalytic converter. It's like 35, 40 pounds. It's like this big. It's like, it's hard to get out of there. And that was before I bought the motorcycle stand. So I worked on it just like this. I was just working on it, just laying on the ground. But when this is off, it's that piece that'll finally come out, but it's in there. It's like one of these puzzles, these wood puzzles, where there's only one way it comes. But when it comes out, and then this piece is the titanium piece comes in 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and you puzzle that together. Then this composite piece is 5. It's 1 piece, 2. There's 4 pieces that all fit together, and then these all bolt onto the titanium, and so it all kind of goes together. Then it's kind of loose, and then as you tighten it up, it just cinches up in there. And I haven't had any problem with it, and it didn't void the warranty at all. And so I bought the extended Ever-Red warranty. So I have bought the bike in 2023. I think, so the factory warranty's gone, but I got 7 years. So I got this bike's warranted unlimited miles till 2030. So and what is it now? I got 5 more years, full warranty, full mileage. I want to get up to 150,000 miles on this, so that's my goal by 2030. And the one thing I had to have, there's been a few bits and pieces under warranty, like this back cover piece cracked. They gave me a new one, just the plastic cover. Oh, the seat, this is a new seat. This seat ripped. It ripped out of here. So I got a new seat under factory, got a new red cover under factory. What other little things? I think, oh, the other thing that happened, I think I made a video about it. The clutch slave cylinder started leaking. It's on the other side over here, but it looks like this, but it's on the other side. There's a hydraulic clutch assembly, and so the piston, it wasn't the master cylinder for the clutch on the handlebar. It was leaking. There's a piston inside that pushes the clutch in, so that was leaking, and so what would happen? I would just have no, I'd have no clutch. It would just go in, and I couldn't shift. So what they did, that was repaired under warranty. So they took it apart, they put a new slave cylinder in. So that's really the only mechanical thing that's really, in terms of warranty, that broke. I mean, everything else, oh, yeah, and then there was just one recall when I first got it on the fans. There was a switch in there that would, it wasn't turning the fan on, and so it was overheating a little bit. But that was all fixed under warranty. Haven't had a problem since. But the only mechanical really problem was the slave clutch. And I was originally I thought I had air in it, so I was bleeding it out, and then it would work for like a week, and then it would just go soft. So it wasn't leaking on the ground at all. So it leaks inside the case. So if you have that problem, your clutch goes away first. It's pretty easy. Just look up how to bleed again, on the other side of the bike, there's a little nipple. You just unloosen it, and then you pump the clutch, and with the reservoir off, and you get the air out, and then it'll be pumped up. And then if it does that another time or twice, then it's the slave cylinder, and you'll have to have that replaced. I don't know how much that would cost because it was under warranty. And then the only other thing, so all the oil changes as needed. I think it was 25,000 miles, I did wear out the chain and the rear sprocket and the front sprocket, so I had those replaced. But again, mechanically, there's been no problems, and I've been not too hard on the bike. And like I said, the only big mod was the Ducati dragster exhaust, which did not void the warranty because it's a Ducati. This is a Ducati approved modification. And then I put the sliders on it here just for looks. I've never used them. I haven't laid down the bike, so yeah, don't have to, you stick with it. When you feel like you're gonna lose it, you just keep going, that's all. Maybe I'll do a video on some riding tips, how to survive 35,000 miles on a Diavel V4. And then, yes, this thing's great. And I got the turn-by-turn app. It's like $50 you pay and you get the turn-by-turn. There's a few other things I want to tell you, but I'm just kind of hold on there. I mean, that's pretty much it, I think. I'm really happy with the bike. It's a joy to ride. It rips. Oh yeah, I put this small windshield on here, aftermarket. Makes a big difference because when you're riding it without the windshield, when you get to about 80 miles an hour, you get like a lot of wind force. My day jobs, I'm a physicist. I got my PhD in physics from UCLA. So I calculated the wind force on your chest and on your head. So on your chest is pretty easy because you can calculate the force on basically a flat plate. You take the area of your chest, and then your head is just a bowling ball. So there's a model you can make for just imagine a basketball just going through at 80 miles an hour. So basically, I did a video on this a while back too. You can search some of my videos. I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but when you're going about 80 miles an hour, it gets to be like, it's about 25, 30 pounds pushing. it's about 20 pounds on your chest and arms, and it's about like 5 or 10 pounds on your head. So you feel it, you feel the wind pushing you off. And then so when you get up to about 100 miles an hour, you have 50 or 60 pounds pushing. It's like somebody's pushing you off the bike. So that's what it's like. So with this, that's without the windshield. So when you put the windshield on, so what that does is it, instead of the air coming back to here, it blows the air up like this, and it comes to about here. I can feel it. You could feel it. So it comes about here. So it takes that weight, the drag force, which is pushing off the back of your bike, and it reduces it, because now you just have the helmet piece, which is much smaller, because your head's a smaller cross section than your chest, and it's round. I ride the Airy Corsair X racing helmets, which really help quite a bit to reduce the aerodynamic drag, and it also, when you get reduced drag, you get reduced wind noise, because the drag is produced by the turbulence, essentially. So if you can get laminar flow like birds do, that's why they can fly so good, because they have the perfect shape for aerodynamic flight. But anyway, so long story short, this small shield makes a huge difference. So instead of me feeling the wind at 80, now it's like 100, 105. It feels so. It really, this one mod, believe it or not, actually increased the speed of my bike, quote unquote, because it just makes it comfortable to go faster, so you can drive faster longer. So instead of me having to cruise at 80 miles an hour, I can cruise at 90, 95. And it feels like I'm sitting in a car, because I can just be like this, and then if I get tired, I can kind of haunch back. You can kind of haunch back, because I'm 6'2", so I can go like this. Or if I really want to I can just kind of go like this, but usually I don't. So the only other thing I can do is I want to get one of those windscreens that goes up and down. So if it could go up a little higher, it'd be even more comfortable. Because it seems like this part of the bike here, it pushes the air out around you. And you could feel that, because when you're riding it fast, like again, 100, you feel, the problem is you got to go fast to figure this out. So if you're going 100, if you move your leg out, you can move it out, but when it gets a certain point, you feel the wind get in there. And so there is a bubble. There's a bubble like right here. And if you go outside, you feel it. And also for your arms, you can feel it. Just even having this little bit, it creates a bubble. So when you take your hand off, you feel it. It's not very big here. So, but and the mirrors do help a little bit. So every little bit helps, but it does create drag. But I don't care, because this bike has the horsepower. So I mean, you'd only care about the drag is if you're trying to go top speed like 180, 200, then it probably reduces your top speed. But I don't care. I don't care about that. Or if you're a race bike, of course you care, because every little tenth of a second. But for a normal person, if you're riding this on the freeway, 70, 80, this thing's going to make it feel like you're on a gold wing, basically. This shield, it's going to go from a full naked to like a gold wing. It feels like you're on a couch in the front room at 70. This thing is really a comfortable bike. And then also the way they tune this exhaust, it's really ear-splittingly loud, but you can actually control the loudness by the throttle. So if you take it easy, it's not too, if they did a good job designing this. If you're not putting, but if you're cruising around, you're keeping the RPMs like 4,000 or 5,000, and even on the freeway, it gets really quiet. I mean, it's just the wind noise dominates. So the wind noise is louder than your exhaust. But if you're of course, when you're taking off and ripping, it's loud. I mean, you can feel it thumping. It's really loud, and but that's how I like it. So like if I'm ripping around and I'm going through a neighborhood, I could just take it easy. I don't have to coast, but I can just take it easy, and just you instead of like being in second gear, you go through in third gear. Yeah, you're pretty quiet. It's not quiet, but you're not being a jerk. You're trying to. If I see people walking on the sidewalk, I don't rip. you know, I quietly kind of go by. It's a little thumpy, but it's not like ridiculously loud. But if you want to be really, if you want to be ridiculously loud, you can just rip it. And oh, here's another point on this bike, and I think any Ducati in general, because I do have 2 Panigales that we ride, because we have this bike, and I bought two 2024 Super Quadro Panigales. That's the last year they make the Super Quadro. So you get the full horsepower, you get the full clip-ons, you get the single-sided swing arm, you get the full race bike basically. I mean, I understand why they went to the new one, but that's another story for another video. But the way you got to ride these, that they redline at 11,500 RPMs. At least this bike does. So when I'm on the freeway, I cruise at 8,000, 9,000 RPMs, 8 or 9,000. So when I get to 9,000, I shift. So you're always, when you're ripping like that, you have the control. Like if there's other cars, if this is a car, you can just rip by them. So you're just, I feel like for me, I've gotten to the point where if I'm doing less than 6,000, I feel like I'm bogging the bike down. So I'm always dropping it down a gear. And if you have a bike like this and you ride it, you might want to try, when you're riding it in your normal cadence, you might want to drop it down 1 gear. So if you usually ride on the freeway in 5th gear, try riding on the freeway in 4th gear. I mean, a lot of times I ride around in 4th gear at 90 miles an hour, and this thing's at 9,000 RPMs, and it sounds cool. It's like, it's screaming. So I love it, and it handles it. It feels weird at first. I think it took me 10 or 15,000 miles to get used to it, but once you get used to the higher RPMs, it just, there's nothing like it. And it just rips, and it feels good, and it's controllable, and you have more, and you can basically control your bike just with your fingertips. It's nice because since you're on the freeway, you can just rip or slow down, and it's pretty nice. And like I said before, I pretty much never use my brakes. A lot of engine braking, a lot of downshifting, and I always downshift before. Once you get used to higher RPMs, you can downshift before the curve, because you could just, if you downshift and you're 6,000 RPMs, you got like another 5,000 RPMs. You can almost double your speed. So I always downshift. So I come into the corner, I'm going about like 6,000 RPMs, because you can really just control the speed. It's nice. You don't need to use it is engine braking, but you don't need a trail brake, or, you know, we're not on the racetrack, but for street riding, just if you can get used to this, hitting the corners at 6,000 RPM and then ripping out of them at like 9, or you're just gonna rip. It's amazing. And then as soon as you come around the corner, you stand up straight, you just nail it and then shift. It just, this thing rips. And then I keep all the wheelie control on and all that stuff, and so I don't do a high side or low side, and haven't had any problems yet. So I just be careful not to kill myself. So so I love the bike. 35,000 miles. I'm looking for another 35,000 miles. I want to get 150. I really love it. It still looks like, people think it's a brand new bike, which is funny. And it's a head turner, street burner. People love this thing. It's amazing. All walks of life, all ages, men and women, everyone likes this bike, man. It's the nice thing about having the Diavel V4, nobody knows what it is, but they love it. They don't know what it is, but they love it. That's the nice part about it. They don't know what it is, but they all want one. So it's nice. Nice to have the V4. Then I always have to give the little introduction. It's a Ducati, it's a V4, you know.